Hi, welcome to Inspired by Pinterest. I'm Lori Allred, and I am excited to share yet another great polymer clay episode with you. You'll remember a couple weeks back we did a really fun one on using clay molds. Well, today we're going to be talking about stamping on polymer clay. Now, if you haven't seen that episode, be sure to go back and watch that. Just go to the show tab and look for the Inspired by Pinterest logo. Click through, and it's just a couple weeks ago. And it's simply called Polymer Clay Molds. So we're going to return back to my favorite board, Polymer Clay, on Pinterest. And from there, you'll see great pins from inspiring people that take you to their blogs. And as always, you can still go to my blog, allreddesign.net, to see all the links to anything I reference on today's show. So we are going to have a lot of fun. This was a fun technique. I had to stop myself. Same with the molds. I'll tell you, who would have thought polymer clay would be so much fun? But what caught my eye on this one was a cute little project. I was looking for girls' camp ideas, and I love this idea. We didn't end up using it, but I kept it in my arsenal of something I wanted to try. Okay, we're going to start with two of my favorite pins. They are from a blog called thenshemade.com. They're really cute ideas. The first is actually just a word pendant, and then she shared another one, a Mother's Day pendant, that I thought were adorable. Be sure to check that out. She walks you through step by step on how she created those, and I'm going to share some of her techniques in a minute in this episode. But another one that really caught my eye that I think is just beautiful, she does multicolored stamping on clay. And this is a little bit of a different technique than the one before. And this one you can find at dannyholland.wordpress.com. And again, you can find those links on my blog, allreddesign.net. So today let's just get busy. So I've already conditioned my clay. You'll remember that I used my Sculpey conditioning machine that looks like a pasta machine to get it softened up. The thing I love about the pasta machine or the Sculpey conditioning machine is that it will actually roll it out in an even thickness. You can certainly try using a rolling pin. This is for clay, but I never could quite get it the right even thickness. So I love this machine for that reason. Then you're just going to need an acrylic block. We're going to find my cute Doodlebug stamp sets. These are done by Hampton Art. I think they did a beautiful job on them. I had a lot of fun playing with these. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out their cute Valentine set. There's some really cute stamps on this set. And find the one I like. I really like this cute word one that says, "You make my heart sing." We're going to place it right on our acrylic block. We're just going to find a spot here on our clay that we want it. Press down as even as you can right onto the clay, making sure, and the great thing about the clear stamps is you can see the pressure going through onto that. Now you might be able to see that impression that it left. So now before I cook it, and remember you want to cook Sculpey clay at 275 for 30 minutes for every inch thickness. So you're going to want to go ahead and cut that to the size that you want. This is an awesome little blade for clay. It has this protective handle that I seem to always take off. And I'm going to cut right about there. I want this one to be a fun rectangle. I thought these would be really cute necklaces for my daughter to give to her friends. Now before we cook it, we're going to want to make sure that we put a hole so that we can run our string or our little jump rings through it. And then be sure when you're cooking you're using an old cookie sheet, or like I use is this small tile. It's just a tile, and put it right on there. And I like to take that handle right off and use this kind of as my little spatula. You can actually, what I would encourage you to do is to actually roll it out and press and do all your work right on the tile, and then you don't have to worry about it manipulating when you go to cook it. So I've done some really cute things here using stamping. Now a second technique I'm going to show you. Now this one we're going to cook is going to come out looking just like these two pieces here. And then I'm going to show you how to go ahead and make those pop out here in a minute. But let's skip to another technique that I absolutely love, and it's actually stamping with ink directly onto the clay. Now I'm going to suggest you use a Stays-On ink. Works much better. And that's how I created this cute little heart piece, as I stamped right onto the stamp with the ink and then stamped the ink right onto my clay and then cooked it. Made this beautiful piece. And then I tried using the opaque Stays-On ink to create this cute piece that I'm wearing. It doesn't pick up the white super well. It tended to absorb it a little bit more than the black. So I'm going to suggest going with a darker color if you really want it to pop. So we're just going to take the stamp, that cute heart stamp, put it on our acrylic block, pull out our Stays-On ink, which I love the smell of the black. I don't know if they put almond something in it, but I know you're all out there going, I do too. No one's ever admitted it. But I absolutely just ink that up really good. March that around like our friends at Close to My Heart taught me. March that around. Go ahead and stamp it where you want, right directly onto your clay. Make sure it's even. Carefully pull it up. And you'll notice I didn't get a super even coating, but I still think it looks really funky cool. You're just taking an X-Acto knife and cut around that, put it down to cook. So now that we've done that, let me show you that technique on how to make them pop if you didn't ink them to start with. So let's pull this off of our project sheet. Now I love this cute little bird. It's from one of the same stamp set, these cute birds down here. I cut them in half so I could stamp around that. Dotted it, added my own little words that said hi, but you can't see them very well. So I'm going to take some brown acrylic paint. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. Now my water's a little dirty, but that's okay. Get it a little diluted because we're going to kind of make a stain. Then you're going to want to make sure you have like a napkin or a cloth nearby. So I'm going to pull this one out. Paint right directly over our image. Now that's not looking super cute, but you'll get the idea here in a minute. Put that aside. I'm gonna have a paint mess here in a minute. I am a messy crafter. You should see my crafter. Pick that up and just, I like to start with a little bit of a damp cloth. Kind of, it's much like staining a project. Kind of wipe that off. You'll see that my image is starting to reveal because it's leaving the paint in the impressed image. And go ahead, look how cute that turned out. Go ahead and let that dry completely. And you can see on some of these I've already went ahead and did the ink, others I have not. So you can do black, brown, whatever color floats your boat. This one I actually stamped directly onto it with just an ink pad, but you're going to want to make sure you put some type of coating over top of that. So again, as I've mentioned in that previous episode, some great coatings are just a clear varnish from Delta. Works great. Also, if you want a little bit more of a stronger, thicker coat, Glossy Accents works great. And then my personal favorite, Pledge Floor Shine, does awesome. Let it dry completely, put another coat on, buff it a little bit, does a great job. So if you have that handy, you can do the same technique. So I've had a lot of fun sharing my stamping ideas with you on polymer clay. We will have a third part to this series. I'm excited about that. One's my favorite. I'm going to teach you how to do image transfers on clay. So join me in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, join me next week. I'm going to share some fun, unique ways to use vinyl when crafting.